Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Brev. Welcome to another episode of What Would Brev Do? We are going to attempt to play a full rank seasons game today with this squad that you see on the lineup here. Again, just a random assortment of 99s that I wanted to try out / like using. But we're going to try to get a Maddux video in today. I try to do at least one Maddux video, once a year. And for some reason this year, every time I try to do one, the game never lasts more than like 2 innings. So hopefully we can get one out of here, out of this gameplay. But Maddux, best Maddux card we've had ever this year for sure. A lot of people still just don't really think he's good enough just because he doesn't throw hard enough. Like maxing out at 91 or 92 is, kind of tough because you're not really ever blowing anything by him. So we'll try to manipulate the bat speed a bit, kind of how we talked about in years past with Maddux, and really try to take advantage of the control that he has. We'll see what we can do on the bump. Luckily, we found a game pretty quick. Kind of surprising. It is New Year's Day. There's more degens like me playing MLB The Show on January 1st. We'll see what we're rocking with here. We are up against Nolan Ryan and a pretty good squad. A lot of cards scattered throughout the year, not just released recently, so that's pretty cool. I don't know if I've hit against Nolan in one of these videos either, so this should be pretty cool, and also the juxtaposition of maybe the hardest thrower in the game versus Maddux should be fun. Hitting against Nolan, I really try to take away the outlier if I can. It's kind of tough because both the sinker and changeup beat you if you sit on fastball. So what I try to do against most outlier pitchers is take away the four seam early and try to make them scared to throw it. But if that doesn't end up working out, it actually is a decent approach to just sit changeup sinker against Nolan. And then if they blow it by you, they blow it by you. I'm down 0-2 here already. There's a sinker, absolutely dotted. That's the biggest dot I've ever seen thrown from a Nolan Ryan card. That's a feels bad. But so far, no four-seamers from this guy, so maybe he's trying to pitch us backwards a bit here. So an approach like this from him as a pitcher kind of implies that the strategy he really wants to go with here is to get ahead in the count and then blow fastballs by us. So I think we'll try to counter that by sitting off-speed sinker early in the count and then try to change it up to fastball later in the count. Although this specific sequence kind of lends more to change up here, so I don't know what to think. Alright, try to get us to chase one. I think I will sit fastball now. Kind of falls in line with his strategy. That was just a bit too low. If that was higher, I might have swung. His curveball is really fast too compared to his changeup. He's keeping me off balance really well. There's the fastball. We are ready for it. And we'll see how he counteracts with that. I do think I'm going to sit off speed here, first pitch, and if I get some to hit, we'll try to take a hack at it. He did not. That's a good pitch from him. Kind of come right back at me. Absolutely daunting with Nolan. Insane. This is probably a sinker spot. I got to be really careful chasing low here because if I chase his sinker, it's going to be 2 outs. What did I say? I do exactly the opposite of what I wanted to do, and I get bailed out. Let's go. Do we get a rage fastball here? Should I turn and burn? There's a rage sinker. Alright, this is turning into a randomly good inning where I'm actually not performing that well. This is a big spot though. First pitch, four seam. Okay, he's not going to double up, so we'll slow the bat down. Oh! That's tough. Can't chase low here. Hung the curve just a little bit. We're going to go station to station if we're even safe at home. Are you kidding me, dude? Dude, I actually just got hosed at home on a force out from right field. What is happening? That's That's up there with one of the most unlucky things that's ever happened to me in all my years playing this game. I have never seen that once. Well, that is certainly a way to kill a rally. Tough. Well, I'm tilted already. We got to get over that. Try to pitch with Maddux here. His bat was super fast on that changeup right away, so might be a good opponent for Maddux here. Maddux is pretty good against people who just have really fast bats because they're used to facing outlier. And the dynamic that I really like with Maddux, not only the control, but the sinker-cutter dynamic. Maddux is one of those weird pitchers where, in terms of perceived velocity, his sinker is actually slower than his cutter. He pretty consistently throws his cutter harder than his sinker. And even though the sinker has a stricter timing window, even though you need to swing... what I mean is you need to swing earlier on a sinker than you do a cutter to have good timing. The fact that his sinker is just a little bit slower actually makes his cutter appear faster than his sinker, which is not a dynamic you usually get out of pitchers. Usually the sinker, you know, with the way timing windows work, the sinker ends up being the faster looking pitch. So, long story short, I think the cutter is Maddux's best pitch. The way I typically try to pitch with Greg is change up sinker cutter and really working off the cutter mostly. And if that's a way that you can create some velocity, trying to get them to speed their bat up enough to hit the cutter with good timing, and then you can kind of drop it off with the sinker and the changeup, or vice versa. You can work them with sinker changeup and then try to blow a cutter by them, which works more often than you think it does. Our opponent was pretty chase happy that first inning, so we were cruising through the bottom of the first, but people typically adjust to Maddux pretty quick is what I found. Maddux is one of those guys where it's kind of important to get out to a lead, because if somebody's losing against Maddux, I feel like they get tilted because they feel like they should be hitting him better. We were off to a pretty good start in that first inning, but couldn't come through, unfortunately. Now we're having a really bad top of the second. I kind of didn't establish an approach before this inning, and you can see the results of that so far. Luckily, Polanco's going to get that through, and now we will strike out with our pitcher. The reason that we do this is because I don't trust bunts on this game. Very often I try to bunt, and I just ended up bunting into a double play. So whenever I'm in a spot like this, I typically just strike out on purpose, don't even swing the bat. That prevents me from hitting into a double play and gives my leadoff hitter an opportunity to hit with a runner on base. So we'll just take our medicine here. Move on to Eddie Murray, and he's been starting us, sorry, I thought I was leading off Eddie Murray, it's Adelise. He's been starting us four seams, so I'm going to sit on it. So that's like the third or fourth at bat. He started us with four seam up and away first pitch, so we will keep that in mind. Thought we had him there, I just didn't execute with the PCI.
The next pitch misses, and that's ball two. Kicks and fires.
Taking away the four seam. This is almost certainly not a four seam, so I'm going to slow the bat down. He got me there. The double up, interesting. I don't think that he's double up four seam yet, so good adjustment by him. We ended up late sided good because of the approach decision we made before that pitch, which is fine. Most of the time that's going to work out for us. Good timing on the cutter there, so we'll try to work the slider. Our opponent has had pretty poor plate discipline so far this game too, so we will continue to try to work off the plate, get him to try to chase stuff. And this is the beautiful thing about Maddux and his control, is he's very easy. You can very easily put a ball right off the corner and kind of force him to chase in 2 strike counts. That's my diamond fielding Eddie Murray. Alrighty. Based on how much this guy's been chasing, I'm going to toss a sinker below the zone here, try to just get a quick double play. I think he'll hack at it. He did, but he fouls it off. How else can we get a double play? Let's try to get him swinging early at this cutter outside. That could work. That did not work. Oh, man. This is going to be one of those games. That was not a strike. Okay. We are down 2-0 early. This is kind of good news, though. Maybe this means we will play a game that's longer than 5 innings. This game has great potential here. Let's try this off the plate. He's chased this a couple times. Good layoff there. That's a good adjustment by him. Let's try sinker up and away. Late on it. Interesting. So we'd be able to get his cutter, get him on the cutter up and away too, to lefties. I want this for a strike. Nice. Got him swinging anyway, but he's been better at laying off, so I wanted that in the zone. Just a perfect pitch. And we'll go back to work. This is Jimmy Fox. Talked about it in the last video, I think, but pitching inside to Fox is generally good because he's a push hitter. So he has trouble hitting pitches like that, but you got to be careful. If your opponent uses Fox a lot, they will know that and will counter by sitting inside. So it's a little mind game. We get a nice 3-pitch strikeout there, though. And hopefully we can get out of the second here, just down by 2. A nice little tunnel you can do with Maddux, too, since he has a slider this year, is exactly that pitch, that slider, tunneled with this cutter. They both kind of run just off the plate, but if you're playing someone that's pretty swing happy like this guy, all of a sudden you're up 0-2. And we'll try to drop this changeup in on the corner again. Maybe he takes it, trying not to chase. Oh, just missed. All right, we'll bury a changeup straight down again, and then we'll probably look at that cutter up and away. All right, we got him to chase. Nice. He's bailing us out a lot, chasing bad pitches. So, so far so good for Maddux. We gave up a 2-run bomb on a pitch that was off the plate, and the guy on first shouldn't have been there. So, what can you do? We will try to keep hitting off of Nolan. And the first pitch up and away 4-seam is an interesting dynamic that we may see as we move through here. I was late sided good there. That's not going to go. He tends to, like, I think that maybe that's his crutch pitch because he tends to throw it in, like, high leverage situations. Like, I think I've had someone on base every time he's done it. So we may just have to sit on that and crank it if we can next time we get a runner on.
If I'm at the dish right now, I am aggressive over the heart of the plate. This guy's been filling up the strike zone, so you know you're going to get.
There's a changeup. We saw it the whole way. He left it over the middle of the plate there. Joe Mauer destroyed. We dropped the barrel down on it. And now I'm going to sit, maybe I should sit 4-seam up and away now. Let's see. Threw it inside. Okay. It was a 4-seam though. I think we got a read on him. We just need the right situation. That's a great pitch. Don't know what he's going to throw to. Curveball again. He's been dotting that curveball really well. He hasn't hung many of them, which is surprising for... I've used Nolan a lot, and I've seen what that par looks like, so... I want to say we're getting a bit unlucky with where these pitches are ending up, but what can you do?
First offering is fouled off. Good eye.
Okay, don't want any part of that. Probably some kind of off speed here.
Next offering is in for
Nope.
a strike.
I think he was sitting off speed right there because he just let the fastball go by.
Stays alive.
Okay, we fight that off. Haven't seen a triple up yet, so I think I'm going to take 4-seam off the table here and slow my bat down again. This did not work out for me last time.
And he gets Greg.
It was a sinker, and I waited too long. Good pitch. He's actually, like, control-wise pitching extremely well with Nolan. Nolan's tough because not only is your PCI tiny, but depending on how your opponent's doing with their control, or I guess the RNG of their pitches, you either need to, like, be really aggressive early in the count. Like, if they're throwing a lot of strikes like this guy, you can see how often I'm swinging early in the count compared to my normal approach. Because if they're going to throw a Nolan Ryan pitch in the zone, you got to take a hack at it because he's very prone to hanging things, right? So if their intention is to throw lots of strikes with Nolan, they're bound to hang one, which is what he did with the changeup. But sometimes you get people with Nolan that are still trying to paint the corners, and his control's so bad that he's throwing a lot of balls, and against those people, you really have to take a ton of pitches. So Nolan's tough because it could go either way, really. We are having a ton of success with this up and in tunnel against lefties, by the way. And in general, just getting him to chase pitches. That's a good take. Let's actually do the same tunnel with a changeup and try to throw a strike here. This could set us up for some sinker stuff later. He was actually late on that, but it's fine. At least we showed it to him. I don't think I'll go back to that pitch though. We'll go sinker there next time. We already know he chased this pitch, so I'm going to try to get a one pitch out here. Hopefully it's not another home run. It was not a home run at least. W. Tough going here with the BABIP on both sides of the ball. Try to chase this sinker. Good take. Oh, this is scary. I just want him to put this in play, this pitch specifically. Dang it. This is a tough spot because we know it's working, but we're not sure when he's going to adjust. Luckily, he did not adjust there, so the up and in cutter slider dynamic is carrying us versus left-handed pitching so far this game. What is our approach going to be offensively here? Swinging first pitch and grounding out probably isn't the move. We didn't ground out though. Nice. All right, can we get our 2-run bomb? Now that we have a guy on first that didn't deserve it, we're going to sit up and away fastball. Was not up and away. We're going to go back to first here, actually, if we can do it fast enough. We could not do it fast enough. I was spamming to send Blackman back to first because I could tell that wasn't leaving, and we could probably tag up there to second base, but my input just didn't happen quick enough. We have to be hyper-aggressive in this at-bat because we have the pitcher on deck. If we make it out here, the inning's pretty much over, so we want to try to make something happen with Jorge. Chase a bit. Okay, so our inning's pretty much over. That's on me for chasing a ball, but wanted to put the ball in play there for sure. Maddux in the gap. Is it in the gap though? It's not in the gap. Am I hosed at third? Okay, Maddux carrying the load here, keeping the inning alive. We're sitting up and away the whole way. Dang it. Throw the pitch you want to throw.
That one catches the zone, and it's 0-2. Love how vocal the umpire is today. No doubt. In the hitter's mind, catcher's mind, and even the pitcher's mind as to the conviction in the call.
Oh, how did I miss that? That was probably the pitch we needed. GG on this at bat.
And a foul ball.
That's an insane pitch. What is that? Four seam, please. He threw it again? Dude. Oh, I had about 5 crushable changeups that at bat and did not connect. So many stranded runners, bro. Oh. I feel like our approach is fine though. Like, sometimes these games just happen. Like, you put yourself in the spot and you either execute or you don't, PCI wise, right? So far we haven't. Nice, little rollover. Make the play, sweet. And if he's got a lefty coming up, you know what we're gonna be going to. I'm hoping to get him to a point where he stops, or he starts laying off these pitches, and then maybe in a 2-strike count, we can try to drop like a front door sinker. Catch him looking. That's really what I'm looking for long term here. So good at bat from him so far. We don't mind going down 2-0, especially throwing pitches that we know have worked so far.
That one's spoiled, and the count now 2-1. The wind of the pitch.
That's a good hit. Good spot, good hit. Nothing you can do. I'm glad he got over the top of it. And we'll try to get him to chase this pitch for the 3rd time. Hopefully we get an out for the 1st time. He did not chase. Good job. That was actually maybe not the pitch to throw, just because Jimmy Fox is up. I think we'll try to actually stay inside here. Maybe like a little down, try to get a double play. Nice. That works. I will take one out. He was late on the sinker there too, so The inside fastballs have been a bit of a struggle for him. This is absolutely a spot where we could pitch around here too. This is his 8-hole hitter, so he's actually in the same spot that we were in with Polanco last inning. And he did the same thing we did. So nice. So he's actually going to lead off next inning with Nolan, unless we somehow torch him this inning. So that's a big out for us. Maddux is pitching really well, all things considered.
So important for him to control the heart rate right now. He's got to go through the heart of this lineup.
I think in general this guy has thrown a lot less four seams than other pitches, so as a general rule I'm trying to keep my bat a bit slow unless I feel like it's a spot where I think there's a good chance I'm getting a fastball. I think I'm going to take this pitch. Mauer's on deck, who's the only guy that's burned him. Having a guy on base would be huge. Okay, he just phoned it in there 3-1, so we'll keep that in mind. Refusing to walk us in the hardest way there. And then threw a ball. Dang it. I wish I had the discipline to not swing at that pitch, but the awkward part about exactly where that pitch was is if it was a sinker, he's just donning me low and in. So, really good spot there, considering the circumstances. Saw the changeup we wanted, but our plate discipline's getting away from us a bit. I think we are pressing. This has been, you know, kind of a frustrating game. So I got to figure out how to phone it or get myself back right mentally here. That was a bit of a hanger too and just missed again. We're getting very hittable pitches and I'm just not hitting them. Hopefully Maddux keeps us in the game here, because an offensive rally is not looking great for us if we get any farther behind. Unless he pinch hits for Nolan here, which would be very strange. Okay, this is absolutely a mistake. This is a really, really bad pinch hit. I always say I don't use these videos to talk about my opponent's play, but this is a really bad pinch hit for several reasons. One, I'm not hitting Nolan well. Two, he's the home team, so he kind of has leverage in the fact that he can, you know, see what happens pitcher-wise before pinch hitting in terms of individual innings. And also, he's leading off the inning here with his pitcher spot, so it's about as low leverage of a pinch hit as you can have, right? Leading off, nobody on base. So, like, if it was a spot where Nolan's dealing, but, like, the pitcher spot comes out, 2 outs, bases loaded, that's a much different pinch hit than what this is, which is extremely low leverage. You know, basically, best case scenario, you're hitting a solo shot, right? So, long story short, I really hate it. And I think that might be the window we need to get back in this one, because now we're going to get up to, or we're going to get 4+ innings against his bullpen, where we only scored 1 in 5 innings off Nolan, right? So I think almost every pitcher he could bring out of the pen is going to be worse than Nolan has been. So hopefully we can start executing. I really got to start throwing something else first pitch, though. He's made the adjustment all laying off. If we can get out of here only down 2-1 and into his bullpen, it's going to be massive. I'm actually going to double up Cutter here in that same spot. This is the pitch I was talking about wanting to throw earlier. Beautiful. Right by him. Maddux is dealing. We got Bregman here against Evan Phillips. Bregman's our 5-hole, so we are going to start warming up the pen. Looking like it's going to be a righty. I'm actually going to go to Mo straight away for the high leverage. This is because there's a pretty good chance we get to our pitcher spot here if we rally at all. Alright, Evan Phillips, much different pitcher than Nolan. Sinker cutter. He's shown that he likes to pitch inside to righties with the sinker with Nolan, so that's kind of what we're looking for, but he's having trouble finding the zone here early, so just trying to be patient. Nice, and we worked the leadoff walk. I'm going to R2 here. I'm actually going to pause so he doesn't know what I'm doing. Evan Phillips does have a 4-seam. So once again, I'm going to sit up and away four-seam here. It was a sinker. This might be oh, everybody's safe. Second time Blackman did it. Infield single. Okay, that was lucky. That was our approach, though. That was a good mix-up by him throwing a sinker instead of a four-seam. Can we tag on this? That's a tough result, but we kind of got bailed out exactly the at-bat before, so I can't really complain. This is why we warm our bullpen up, because he can't pitch around us now. And once again, we have to be very careful chasing low here. We do not want to hit into a double play. Well, I didn't chase low. Man, my hitting with runners on base this game, just horrendous. That was a really good tunnel by him, though. That was good pitching. The front door sinker for a strike into getting me to chase the cutter off the plate. I'm just mad at myself this game. This has been a battle. A battle against me. Might get a quality start out of Maddux for it, though. That Vlad hit was very much a bummer. 1 run on 8 hits. And that's going to get down. I'm actually going to warm up a lefty here, too, because despite how well Maddux has been pitching and how off balance our opponent's been, we just don't have a lot of room to give him a long leash here, considering we're still down. I'm going to throw this pitch yet again and hopefully get an out. Okay, nice. So we've identified some weaknesses for our opponent for sure at the plate. He's really only tagged us with the 1 home run.
And perhaps make that hitter a little hyper and make him more aggressive, and that way when they put a wrinkle,
Good take. We'll try cutter up and in again off the plate. Got him to chase. Cool. And doesn't really seem like he's gonna take a pitch here, so we'll try to bury a changeup again and then go to the up and away cutter. Don't know how you foul that off. Tough. He's late there. So those are the 2 results we wanted. Considering he's on his back foot a bit here, we'll try to get him to chase this cutter one more time. He turns and burns. We'll go to the slider. Nice, got him. All right, really solid outing from Maddux. Now we are going to pinch hit. I actually am just going to burn a lefty here. I'm going to go with Ruth. And if he counters with a lefty, we'll pinch hit again. Just because it's already the 7th, we still have all 5 of our bench bats. I don't want to burn my switch hitter here. Then he is just going to come at me with Evan Phillips, it looks like. Oh, maybe not. Okay. This is actually a fine pitching substitution. Obviously, we leave Ruth in here. It'll be interesting to see if he starts trying to throw the pitches we've been throwing with Greg against us. That did not look like a sinker. I am sad that I took that pitch late. Hitting against Mo, I actually think Mo's maybe worst pitch is his cutter, and it's also the pitch that people tend to overthrow the most. So really, I like to try to sit cutter and just cutter tunnels. So like if the ball's coming in here, I typically don't swing early in the count because a cutter would take it off the plate, right? But if a pitch is coming in here, I try to swing because a cutter makes it juicy, if that makes sense. Better Mariano pitchers will feature the sinker changeup slider a lot more. So unfortunately, you don't have a lot of time to read your opponent when they're bringing in relievers, but that's my general approach. Battle in here. Good pitch. Got bailed out there. We need our boy Eddie Murray to come through here. We're still kind of sitting cutter. We don't want to swing at it off the plate, though. Good block. I needed that to get by him. Be huge. What is he gonna throw? Good take. That was way inside. Easy take. Last time he went sinker after that. Dang, what a dot.
Righty to the plate. Swing, and that ball smashed on a line. Harris makes the play, and there's 2 down.
Not fooled at all right there. He was clearly all over it, but sometimes
Sin cutter. That's our approach. That is our approach. Okay, we can't phone this at bat in because we're mad. This is still an opportunity to tie the game at least. So we have to lock in. This is exactly the same as last at bat. We can do the exact same thing.
Go ahead and get it out of the way so the hitter can focus on the pitch.
Kicks and fires. And strike 2.
Good pitch.
Not able to catch up to that velocity.
I don't know if I'm ever catching up to that pitch, to be honest.
And a foul ball, he stays alive.
Good double up. He knew it too.
And a pitch. On the
And
ground,
that's
right
smoked right at the second baseman.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join us.
Woo! This might be an L, boys and girls.
Your attention, please. Now pitching, Mariano.
I've been battling myself so far this game with PCI placement, and now I'm going to be battling myself with PCI placement and tilt.
Makes it safely. It's a leadoff double in the bottom of the 7th.
Went up there looking to be aggressive and got something.
Jesus.
I'm amazed at his ability to pull his
Now
hands
batting,
aside and
center
actually
fielder,
stir that baseball off.
Michael.
That pitch was off the plate. So tough to get the barrel to anything in there.
Next one misses. And now it's even 1-1.
In hindsight, I maybe should have gone to somebody other than Mo, just because Mo basically throws the exact same pitches that Maddux does. And I typically don't like doing that. But here we are.
Fox stands at second with no out.
Let's try this pitch. Can't really throw this pitch with Maddux because he doesn't throw it hard enough.
The next pitch misses, and it's 2-2.
Good take. Hopefully going to this one too many times doesn't burn me.
Stays alive.
Nice, he's late.
And the right-hander deals. In the air.
I got no clue how that went that far. I think I have to hit the cutoff because I didn't get a perfect throw. We got a really bad animation and he's going to end up tagging. So, we will have to put the infield in here. We can't really give up another run. It sucks if he dribbles one through, but it is what it is.
Swings and fouls one off. 1-run game, 1 out, 1 on.
He's really pressing. I'm just going to throw that pitch again. Nice. He completely bailed us out there with that at-bat. He really wanted to hit like a 600-foot bomb. This is an extremely awkward guy to face in this situation because technically he could drag bunt to second and get a run. Hopefully he doesn't bunt. Nice. Alright, we escaped the leadoff double, and we got 6 outs to try to win this game.
Your attention, please.
Joe Nathan. Alright, interesting thing to know about Joe Nathan. Let me warm up my guys first. This is probably a Chapman inning. Man, I wish I had Camilo with energy this game. Joe Nathan does not throw a changeup. So, in general, keeping like a generally fast bat is pretty good. Like, all of his pitches are within 10 miles an hour of each other. And none of them are changeups. So, swinging kind of early and being early is not the worst thing, because even if you get fooled, you might just pull an early bomb on an off-speed pitch or something.
On the ground, right side.
That's a pitch I probably have to take, though. That was way outside. Protecting a little too hard there.
Down the third baseman.
The third
Alex
baseman,
Bregman.
number 2, Alex Bregman.
That's in the gap. Late side of good for Bregman. We're only going to get second base here because we only have 53 speed. And he actually can't substitute here against Blackman. So this is a huge spot. You could arguably walk me here, but I don't think you will. I don't have any clue what I'm sitting on. Is this finally an up and away fastball? He's actually thinking about walking me is what he's doing here. I think it's about 50-50 whether walking me is good here or not. There's some really bad things that can happen, or you could instantly get a double play and get out of it. Oh my goodness. I didn't even take that good of a swing at it. Charlie Blackman giving us the lead finally. He hangs the curveball first pitch, and we kind of missed it but get rewarded anyway. He is definitely rattled. We might see a lot more of those Bryce Harper at bats when he gets back up here. Did not think that was a cutter. Whew. And Vlad, let's go. Dude, honestly, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, and I'm sorry if this offends you because you use him a lot, but I think Joe Nathan is hot garbage in this game, and I see people using him all the time, and I have no idea why. Anyway, all it took was for us to get back in this was a couple of hanging pitches. And all of a sudden, I'm very happy. Now we have to focus on not blowing the lead. But yeah, sinker right down the middle pretty much into curveball right down the middle pretty much is how we ended up quickly getting back in it. Do I want to pinch hit here? I do, for sure. It's just interesting to think about. There are some scenarios where pinch hitting is wrong here. It's right for me in this situation. One, because he just made a pitching substitution, so I know for sure that we're going to have a handedness advantage because he can't take his pitcher out. Also, we already looked at who's leading off next inning. His next three hitters are left, right, left, so it makes sense for us to go to Chapman, which is another reason for us to pinch hit here. So we will just go with Griffey. Even though there's 2 outs, nobody on. You could also make the argument for going with Swisher here over Griffey in the event I wanted to make a defensive substitution in the outfield, since I'm winning now. That's definitely an angle you could take. I generally shy away from defensive substitutions, and I'm honestly couldn't tell you why. I think I just like having bench flexibility more than good defense for 1 inning, and also bad defensive outfielders play better than they should on this game, so it's not as bad as it would be in real life. This has been a huge inning for us. That pinch hit pays off massively. Adelise is going to go yard. All of a sudden, we're going to get rewarded for everything in this inning. Huge. Gagne is better than he has been in years past, but also I don't think he's very good either, to be honest. It's really tough deciding which relievers are good or not, because they don't throw very many innings, right? You don't see them very often. So that's really a position where it varies for pretty much everyone.
And a foul ball. The pitch.
But personally, I don't think he could have brought in 2 better guys for me to hit off of. And I will happily go into the bottom of the 8th with my 4-run lead. Unfortunately, Maddux isn't going to get the win here if we keep the lead, which is a bummer because he pitched insane. Honestly, the Maddux pitching was a clinic. Like, the only thing we gave up was a opposite field shot on a cutter that was like 3 inches outside. Pretty wild. Alright, pitching with Chapman. I typically like to come right out of the pen with Chapman and not throw 4 seams, because sometimes you get results like this where they feel like they have to sit on outlier to hit it. Some opponents will be ready for that or make the adjustment quite a bit. So after the first at bat, I try to be a little more unpredictable. Like, what you definitely don't want to do with guys like Chapman is establish, you know, that you're going to feature off speed and then just do that the whole inning. So I try to mix it up quite a bit. Like, use the first at bat to kind of like convey information, right? If he's tracking how I'm sequencing, it's pretty obvious from that first at bat I want to feature off speed. And if I keep doing that every at bat, it's going to be easy for him to adjust. But with Chapman, because his four seam is such a threat, kind of seesawing it, going back and forth on your pitching approach from at bat to at bat can be really strong because it's hard to adjust to. Absolutely dominant inning from Chapman there. We will once again check his next 3 hitters, but I think there's a strong chance we just leave Chapman in for the 9th. Chipper Jones can't play first base, so hopefully he has a adjustment there. Let's check. Oh, he just went ahead and bounced. Cool. GG's. Finally got the RNG on our side in that 8th inning. That game was a battle. Maddux with the clinic. I'm happy I finally got a Maddux gameplay that went pretty much the distance. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you learned something in this one. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.